Let's be absolutely clear from the start. This is not about religion. This is what happens when radicalized mob takes control and the state steps back. Bangladesh is a Muslim majority country, and today its minorities, especially Hindus, are being attacked in public, on camera, with no fear of the law. One man paid the price for this. His name was Deepu Chandra. He was beaten, he was hanged, he was set on fire. And the most frightening part was not the mob, it was the silence around it. When violence becomes normal inside a country, what happens to the border next to it? Because right next beside this fire lies India's most fragile line. Deepu Chandra was not hiding. What happened to him did not happen in secret. It happened in public. Videos from the scene show something very disturbing. Police were present, and yet Deepu was not taken to safety. According to eyewitnesses' account and footage, he was left at the mercy of the mob. People were watching, people were recording. No rescue, no clear intervention. Police stood there, and still a man died. So what really failed that day? The system or the courage to act? The mob was not alone that day. There were people who knew Deepu, people who worked with him, people who understood what was happening. They did not support the violence, but they did not stop it either. They stayed silent, not because they agreed, because they were afraid. Afraid that if they spoke today, tomorrow it could be them. This is how fear spreads. It doesn't force people to commit violence. It only asks them to stay quiet. And when staying quiet feels like the only way to survive, who gets chosen next? Bangladesh did not reach this point overnight. The shift began after mass student-led protest turned violent. Government buildings were attacked. Streets were set on fire. Former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fled the country and took refuge in India. India granted her asylum. Bangladesh demanded her return. India refused, citing concerns over fair trial and political revenge. From that moment, anti-India anger moved from politics to the streets. Police control weakened, authority slipped, and into that gap, radical groups stepped in. When leadership collapses, someone always fills the vacuum. During this chaos, minorities paid the price. Human rights groups and local media reported a familiar pattern. Hindu temples attacked. Homes burned. Women threatened, pressured to convert.
Police say the 50-year-old Deepu Chandra was assaulted late on Wednesday night while returning home after closing his medicine shop. Reports say Das was travelling in an auto rickshaw when attackers intercepted the vehicle, dragged him out, beat him, hacked him with sharp weapons, and then poured petrol on his head before setting him on fire.
These attacks were not hidden, they were public. And when violence repeats without punishment, it sends a clear message. The mob is stronger than the law. This is not about ordinary citizens. This is about radicalized mobs operating in a Muslim majority country while the states failed to protect its minorities. As the instability grew, radical voices found a new target: India. Videos and speeches blamed India for sheltering Sheikh Hasina. Online narratives turned into political anger into hatred. Facts blurred, emotions spread, and slowly the language changed from protest to threat. When mob feels powerful inside a country, they rarely stop at the border. Let's be clear about one thing. No one is saying Bangladesh can attack India in a war. This is not about armies. This is about instability. The Siliguri Corridor, often called India's chicken neck, is just about 22 kilometers wide. It carries roads, railways, fuel, and supplies to India's entire northeast. When radical groups talk about this line, they are not talking about fighting India. They are talking about pressure, disruption, fear. History shows something very simple. You don't need to defeat a country to cause damage. You only need to keep one sensitive place unstable. So who actually benefits when a place like this stays unstable? Is it the country that's burning from inside, or someone watching from far away? At the beginning of the video, we asked a question. What happens to a country when people fear the mob more than the law? The answer is not sudden collapse. It's a slow breakdown. One silent witness at a time. One unanswered crime at a time. One life abandoned at a time. And by the time everyone wakes up, the fire is already too close. That's why moments like this don't need shouting. They need attention. If you want to keep paying attention, you know where to find us. Subscribe to ThinkTell, because you think and we tell.